All right, this is Lockdown Radio. I'm down here at the Peterborough anti-lockdown protest in front of the City Hall, and I'm joined with
Annie.
Annie. Annie, what brings you to this anti-lockdown protest?
I'm really concerned about our local businesses because if they continue on the venue that they're going, we're not going to have any businesses available at all. Costco gets to stay open. Costco is considered essential, despite the fact that they carry many non-essential items. There's no worry that, they're going to escalate this eventually. They're calling it all COVID cases, cases, cases. First of all, cases is one thing, but I'd like to look at the statistics for deaths. That's the first thing that I looked at when this thing began. And I compared, I went to the Statistics Canada website, I looked at the number of deaths that are typical because I wanted to see just how bad is this thing. So I'm not saying any deaths are good deaths, but I just wanted to see how out of proportion are they. So
Well, people die every year, don't they?
well, they do. And the funny thing is that in 2018, there were 11,000 deaths from the flu, but in 2020, there are no deaths from the flu. Suddenly, the flu has been completely disappeared. So yay, it must be some magical cure. However, one thing I know is that the hospitals and doctors are getting more money. I used to work at a hospital many, many years ago. I know how the global budget works. I know that they're always struggling to have more money. And so when they're faced with the possibility that they get more money from the government when they declare something being a COVID case or a COVID death, why wouldn't they, right? So everything suddenly becomes a COVID case and a COVID death.
They're incentivized then to call everything a COVID case. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying, because they're getting bribed, essentially. They're getting money. And the thing is that, if you really look at it, since we're basing entire public health strategy on the number of cases, then it would make logical sense to question the source of how they're actually doing the test, right? That's the first thing I look at.
Absolutely.
So I looked at the PCR test. It's called the PCR test. The guy who actually created the PCR test is one of the first ones. He's a Nobel winner. He said it was never meant to be a diagnostic tool because you can't possibly isolate a virus. You can't isolate the COVID virus. There's no way to have a test and say, yes, definitively that is the COVID virus. Assuming COVID virus is legitimate and everything, let's say that's exactly how this went down. So now we're basing public health policy, which is now forcing businesses to force everyone to wear a mask, which by itself, masks are proven. There's scientific evidence that masks cause infection, spread infection. People are touching their faces, they're moving them around. I went into stores, they're wearing them down around their mouth, they're touching them, they're putting them on their chins. Like, it's so much.
I noticed on the radio that they tell you now to sanitize your hands after touching your mask.
Right.
So why am I wearing it on my face?
Well, most people are wearing it on their chin. Anyway, they're wearing it on their chin, they're wearing it around their eye, they're hanging them up because they're not thinking bacteria, right? Like if this thing is collecting bacteria, especially the reusable ones, the cloth ones, we have to go. Okay. Anyway, I could keep going on and on.
I wish you could. I want to do this more for sure in the future.
I'd love to.
Thank you very much, Annie.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Good luck.